Hey people, video games here. This is not a typical video that I've made on my channel, but I decided to make it out of the sheer amount of love that I feel for this video game that we're going to be talking about today. Now, I know my previous content has mostly been silly little reviews, some shitty and one good, but this is very much a callback to years and years and years ago, but also a goodbye to a game that defined my early PC gaming career, as loser-ish as that sounds. And this game is, of course, Diablo 3. Now, I got into Diablo 3 right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle in 2016. The middle of its lifespan, that is, where I got to skip a lot of the growing pains of the initial release, like no expansion, only having the campaign, and not having Loot 2.0, and the wonderful experience that was the marketplace. I got to skip all that shit, and I got into it right in the middle, right where everything was good and peachy and, as the kids say, hunky-dory. Now, I played Diablo 3 for about 500 hours or so, maybe a little more. And for a lot of people, that's not a lot of hours. But for me, that was a lot of hours. So you have to think, I was about 10 or 11 or so when I started playing the game. And so for me to play it that much, for as long as I did, it was a lot. Especially considering that a lot of the other games that are most played for me are around that range as well. It's a lot from me in particular. Where, someone else may have played it for thousands upon thousands of hours. I still got a good experience, and I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Now, I have played Diablo 3 a good amount. I've gotten at least one character of each class up to level 70, which, like I said, for a lot of people, isn't exactly a lot, but for me, it's, it's a good amount. And I got a good portion of the achievements, a good way there. Nowhere near total completion, of course. But still enough that I could say, I got a good amount of the game done. I experienced a good amount of the game. And I did play a fair amount of the seasons, which, again, for some people, it's not a lot, but I did play them. I had kind of an off and on relationship with the game after a while, because I would fall into this cycle where I would play other shit, I'd play other shit. And then I wouldn't care about Diablo 3, but then I would see somewhere that a new season was starting, so I thought, oh, this will be the time that I finally beat the season. I still have not beaten the season to this day. However, I would get very far. I would get past the first 4 chapters, and then I would go into the next few. I think they were called, like, Slayer and Champion or something along those lines. And I would always get right about halfway through the last 4, and then I would just stop because I would get bored because of the grind. It's a grind. Now, for those of you who have played Diablo 3, you know that after a good amount of time, the game just becomes an infinite grind. And that is, I think, the best thing and the worst thing about Diablo 3, because that means the game can last potentially infinitely, provided you have the patience. But at the same time, there's no end goal, and so eventually you just get burnt out, and you don't want to do it anymore, because you think, why would I want to grind for this legendary to kill this boss that I've already killed 5,000 times? You just don't want to do it. But for me, that wasn't a very big problem, because I could simply just pick up the game and play it. It allowed me to just get back into the groove of, like, okay, we're playing Diablo 3 again for a couple weeks. It would help with the seasons because of its infinite grindiness, that it made it a little easier for me to get into seasons, but it made it hard for me to finish seasons. That was the biggest roadblock. I did eventually try a hardcore character. He was a crusader. He's my only hardcore character I ever made, and he's still alive, well into the Paragons. So I did get to experience that a little more asshole clenching experience of Diablo 3. The asshole clenching side. I said that this was a callback to previous times on the channel, which is true. Before I was making reviews and shitposts, I was making shitty little videos on my phone, not editing them at all, and uploading them straight to YouTube. Now, this was back in 2016, 2017, and of course, I've wiped all those videos off my channel because they were garbage. But I would play Diablo 3 in some of these videos. There was a sort of series I did. It was called the Daily Rift, where I probably only did it for like a week or so, where I would just do a Nephilim Rift, just once a day. And this is so I could just play the game a little more, but also because I don't know why I wanted to make YouTube videos, but I did. And so those were recorded with my phone in the horizontal setting, placed on top of a Maxwell House coffee ground can that was sitting on top of my desk. And my phone, because it had a relatively thick case, was ever so precariously balanced on top of that can. And that is how I would record those videos. Unfortunately, I don't have any of that footage remaining, but trust me, it's true. It's what I did. I think it's probably better that they're gone though. But to end this short little video off, I just want to say goodbye to Diablo 3, because after this video, of course I'm gonna record some gameplay for background footage, but after this video I probably will not touch the game ever again, because Diablo 4 is nearing its full release for the 6th. Of course, I got the early access and I'm already playing it, which I'll save those opinions because I might make a video on it. I don't know yet. But after Diablo 4 fully comes out for the whole world to play, Diablo 3 is just going to be irrelevant. I don't think anyone's ever going to be going back to 3. It's just going to be Diablo 2 and Diablo 4. Because, to me, Diablo 4 combines the grim atmosphere and the wonderful music of Diablo 2 with the fluidity and improved combat of Diablo 3. And so Diablo 3 is just like, it's just not needed anymore. Diablo 4 is just replacing it, and I'm fine with that. But I still want to act like this is a fucking funeral. Pay my respects to Diablo 3 for all the hours of fun that it gave me, all the memories that it gave me, all the late nights of listening to music or listening to some YouTube videos and vigorously stimming while playing Diablo 3. It gave me a lot of those good memories. So, goodbye, Diablo 3. You will be somewhat missed. Perhaps.